Hey sharks, picture this. You're an expert witness flying in for one of the most high-profile unaliving cases in the United States. And you just spent the last 6 hours sitting next to a guy who decided it was a good idea to eat an egg salad. Finally, you land in Boston Logan. You're tired, you're hungry, and you could really go for a JMO and ginger. So you open up your Uber app. 20 minutes. Lyft, same thing. Introducing Moober. Like Uber, but instead of getting picked up from some Chad, you get your very own Massachusetts state trooper as your personal chauffeur, all at the taxpayer's expense.
And then Sunday morning, he gave me a ride over to the district attorney's office.
Hello, and welcome back, roommates, to Alexa's room, where we are not lawyers, we are not medical professionals, and we are not law enforcement. We are just people who have opinions about all things going on in the true crime community, including...
When I got here on Saturday night, I informed them I'd landed, and then Sunday morning, he gave me a ride over to the district attorney's office.
Did you have any discussions with Lieutenant Tully before Saturday?
This is Judson Welcher, the Joe Paul for this season of the Karen Reed trial, brought to you in part by the Commonwealth of Norfolk County. So this clip is from yesterday's voir dire. Some interesting little tidbits that at least I was unaware of came from the very first few minutes, brought to you in part by the artist formerly known as Detective Lieutenant Brian Tully, who has been recently demoted to just Lieutenant Brian Tully.
You understand it's no longer Detective Lieutenant Tully, it's, as I understand, it's Lieutenant Tully. Did you have you said you had conversations with him, correct?
Correct.
When was the first conversation? How many, and what are the nature of those conversations?
Are you limiting it to the last 10 days or in total in my life?
Within the last 2 weeks.
Last 2 weeks.
As we know from Jessica Hyde's testimony, who is buddies with his employee, Shanon Burger, they both had spoken to Tully, according to their testimony, a handful of times. Why do you need to talk to Tully at all? We know he's also a delivery boy for the Massachusetts State Police. He flew out to Texas to see Shanon Burger. I would like to know, if you were hired, 8 months ago, as you testified today, by the Commonwealth, within that 8-month time frame between the date of hire in September to today of your testimony, how many times have you spoken to Brian Tully? So this was shared by Boston Tom the other day. This was updated as of March 17th, 2025. 2 days before Proctor's decision came through to fire him via the trial board. But this was the first time this came out seemingly to the public.
Who did you have discussions with from the Commonwealth about the topics in your PowerPoint presentation?
Mr. Brandon and Mr. Lally.
Describe those conversations and how many you had, including the first one that you had.
Well, I originally submitted my presentation with my original report way back, I believe, in January.
Right. I'm asking for conversations within the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
Right, so now special probiotic, Hank Brennan, has a new name. A new name has entered the chat, folks. It's no longer Hank Brennan, folks. It is Mr. Brandon, who he completely continues to refer to him as throughout the entire testimony, which is so ironically funny considering, one, this is your witness and he doesn't even know your name. And maybe he does. Maybe he's just calling you something different on purpose for court records. I don't know. That's probably a little too speculative. But considering the amount of times that you have called Alessi throughout this entire trial, no matter how many times Bev will call him in front of you, Alessi.
Then on Sunday, we just went through top to bottom through my presentation. Mr. Brandon wanted to make sure he understood everything in it. And then we I met with Mr. Brandon again on Sunday. We ran through it briefly again, and then that was largely it.
Who suggested the changes to your presentation?
Mr. Brandon.
Boom! Mr. Brandon, after a romantic candlelight dinner. And just how many times, sir, has Mr. Brandon asked you to adjust your presentation?
Dr. Welcher, you have changed your PowerPoint presentation in the last few days in this case, correct?
I deleted a slide and removed a couple words.
Right, but you've changed your PowerPoint presentation, correct?
Correct. I deleted a slide and deleted a couple words.
Who have you spoken to at the Commonwealth in the last 2 weeks? Anybody associated with the Commonwealth, who have you spoken to?
In the last 2 weeks, Mr. Brandon,
So, Mr. Brandon, so he has changed his slides, just not even just over before he handed it over again in like what, May, the beginning of this month, right? But over the last few days, he was making little tweaks and iterations to his presentation. So this clip is from the trial channel. If you aren't subscribed to them, make sure you do for all the trial coverage. From what it seems, they do a great job of cutting editing down a lot of the sidebars and the breaks, so it really condenses a lot of the testimony and makes it easier for one to follow seamlessly if you are working or doing stuff in the background and you want to put this on. So definitely give them a sub. I will link this video in my description box so you can share the love and support there.
The updated presentation, we'll get to the changes later, but the updated presentation you created just how many days ago?
I'm going to say weeks ago.
Weeks? 2 weeks?
I don't actually know without looking at the documents.
Him and Jim McCabe could definitely be fast friends, if you ask me.
More than 3 weeks ago that you created it?
I still don't know without looking at the documents.
Do you know when the trial started in this matter, sir?
I do not.
Assume the trial started approximately April 22nd of 2024.
Okay.
Did you create your updated presentation before or after April 22nd of 2024?
I don't know.
Do you know?
So you can see he's looking from the glare in the glare in his glasses, which, I mean, dude, like, if there's a time to wear contacts, like now is, because we could see what you're flipping doing. You're trying to scroll on your computer or your tablet or whatever it is and figure it out.
Dr. Welcher, I'd ask that you not do.
Not look at. Okay, I was going to try and answer his question. My apologies. I will shut it down.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
If I may, Your Honor, please
Yes.
take it. Are you able to determine when you created the updated presentation?
I think so. That's what I was attempting
Your
to do.
Honor, may he do that? When did you create the updated presentation that you reviewed in your direct testimony?
So that's addition I made was taken out. It wasn't in my direct
Sir,
testimony.
If you can just hear my question, it's this. The version of the presentation that you put on the screen, when did you create that version? I'm just looking for a date.
So to answer your question about the version on the screen, I created that yesterday when the judge asked me to take off some of the headers. So yesterday.
Okay, good. Now, the version before that you created yesterday, when did you create that version?
The day before.
And then the version before that one, when did you create that?
I mean, I save it every day.
Understood.
So every day.
So you've changed the presentation every day since when?
No, I don't think I've changed the presentation every day.
That's my
Like, what? But that's exactly what you just said. You just said, I save it every day. Why would you need to save it every day if you weren't constantly going in and tweaking this thing and tweaking that thing. It's not like we're talking about a couple of grammatical errors here and there. Oh, I forgot a comma here or a period here.
My question is, how many times have you changed it within the last 2 weeks, your presentation?
Try and cut to the chase here.
Sure.
That slide was added on May 13th, and then it was taken out before I presented it here. So it was not in my presentation here.
Right. So thank you for that answer. So
You're
here's
welcome.
the question. Your first version, as I understand it, of the slide presentation was January 30th, 2025. Is that correct?
Correct.
Oh, you were very firm
When
on
was
that.
the next time after January 30th, 2025 that you changed that presentation?
May 13th.
Assuming the trial started April 22nd of 2025, you changed your PowerPoint presentation.
Like, what are you doing? Now he's taking notes. Unless you're playing Hangman, like, he's like, Bobby, you gotta slow down for me, boy, because you're talking too fast. I can't get these dates right straight in my head.
This trial, correct?
Correct.
And how many times did you change your presentation after April 22nd of 2025?
Well, the last time they changed it was like 10 minutes ago. I'm not sure how much granularity you want to that answer.
Right, so you created on January 30th, 2025, you made your,
13th.
pardon me?
Oh, no, the original one. Sorry,
Yeah.
January 30th, modified May 13th.
Right, if I could finish my question, I might be able to shortcut this. Thank you. So you created the original one on January 30th, 2025. You made your first amendment May 13th of 2025. And then before you sat for your testimony, which was yesterday, correct? That was the first time you sat for your testimony.
That is correct. I was here yesterday.
Days get foggy when we're in the courtroom, but it was yesterday. How many times had you changed your presentation from January 30th, 2025 until when you first walked in the courthouse yesterday?
Do you mind if I count?
Not at all.
So there was the May 13th change. Half of that was in response to objections from the defense. I had to add all the paths to where everything was. Then when I got out here, Mr. Brandon asked me to take out references to evidence about statements that I was not allowed to present. So that would have been within the last 3 days. And then I've modified it a couple times today based on rulings from the judge.
Okay.
What statements? I have questions. What statements? What evidence?
Let's break that down. You said half of the changes you made on May 13th related to what? Because I want to know about the other half. that
Sure,
you
there was
didn't
two
state.
changes. I added the extra path of 138, and then I was told that the defense was having problems with my PowerPoint, so I had to go in and add the paths to every single slide about where the evidence came from, because they were saying I didn't provide everything, and I had provided everything.
Right. So
That was the second half.
got it. I want to go to the first half, sir.
Sure.
And I'm going to try to shortcut this.
Please.
And if I'm not clear,
It's like I even included some of my paw prints from the blue experiment, the blue exercise I did. Come on, what else do you want from me, Bobby? I'm giving you everything.
you just let me know. I want to talk about the first half. You called it, I didn't hear it. It was like, did you say path?
Path.
P-A-T-H?
Correct. The path Miss Reed was driving.
Right. The what you made the change for May 13th, that first half, that wasn't something that was triggered by the defense. That was something irrespective of the defense, correct?
It was based upon her statements. Is she part of the defense?
All right, so that's what I wanted to get to. You changed the first half based upon statements you allege that Ms. Reed made. Is that correct?
It's because I changed one slide. There was 100.
Is she part of the defense? She's the defendant. in this case. Like, do you know, did anybody tell you anything about this case aside from the clothes that John O'Keefe was wearing? That's a whole other thing that we're going to get into in my next video. My goodness, there is a special place in hell for people like that, but I digress. She's the she's sitting right there. Who the heck do you think we're talking about? Is she part of the defense? She's the defendant. She's the reason why we're here right now. In the words of my wife, Marona Mia.
130 slides originally, or something like that. So half of the changes on that day, which was one slide, I added one line to the bottom of the previous slide.
Did you consider that change significant?
No.
Well, then why did you make it in the middle of trial if it wasn't significant? Why didn't you just leave it off and then discuss it in terms of testimony?
So, A, it ultimately was left off. B, because it was insignificant and I didn't need to have it. So the way it got presented was exactly the way it was before May 13th. So it didn't change anything.
But it was significant enough for you to make a change to your presentation, correct?
So my goal is...
He's like, I wanted to use a different color for my PowerPoint for the background, Bobby. Bobby, baby, Bobby. More of a lilac kind of guy, you know, with the starburst backgrounds, right? God, remember those back in, like, computer class? Like, it's not like we're talking about a font change here, buddy. Like, if it didn't matter exactly, then why make the change at all? Why are we here talking about this? Why do you feel like it's necessary for you to check into your presentation? You're an expert in a high profile, probably the most high profile unaliving case in the country right now. And you're like, yeah, I just, went in, made a couple of tweaks and changes and amendments here and there. Didn't think it would be a big deal. What's the problem, huh?
To be as accurate as possible. So when I saw the path that I gave, the way she could drive, I gave the possible paths. That was one of the possible paths that hadn't originally been included. So in striving to be as accurate as possible, including as much information as I could, I wanted to make sure I included that.
So you were striving. The clip that you used to make the change, you say you made the change based upon a clip you observed with regard to Ms. Reed. Is that correct?
I believe that, yes, that is correct.
Do you know that clip has been in existence for months?
I don't believe I got it until April.
So a clip that has been, assume the clip's been in existence for months. You just got the clip.
Dr. Welcher, I have to ask you not to refer.
I'm trying to be helpful.
It's just I can't control my limbs. They just do things sometimes. I just can't. I can't control myself. Oh my God. Like, what are you doing, dude? Are you Googling? How long has it been since this documentary clip was posted? Like, what are you doing, my guy? Who cares what Karen Reed said? You're the data guy. You're the science guy. We're looking to you to see if it was physically possible from a physics standpoint for John O'Keefe to have sustained the injuries that he sustained and pirouetted via being hit by Karen Reed's vehicle, going 24 miles an hour in reverse. That's your job. That's literally what you were hired to prove. Who cares what Karen Reed said or didn't say? Because all they're going to say is, oh, she was drunk anyway. She had no idea. So how can you even claim that as being reliable then? If that's the theory, if that's what we're going with, right? You're supposed to be looking at, you want to talk about probabilities? Let's talk about probabilities. Let's talk about physics, guy. Biomechanics. Because I can bet you Arca didn't spend time watching Karen Reed's interviews to gather information to help support whether or not it was physically possible for her to have hit John O'Keefe and for him to have flung however many feet in the air onto Brian Albert's lawn and sustain the injuries that he sustained from that. How was the taillight cracked? What amount of force and pressure would have caused her taillight to explode? Who cares what she said in a documentary? It doesn't matter. Next, you're going to say, oh, yeah, and when I did shrooms with Gretchen Voss from Boston Magazine, I also learned a couple of tidbits there, too.
So, assume the clip that you said was the basis for changing your PowerPoint on May 13th after the trial started had been in existence for months. You just got that clip, you say, in April?
I believe so, yes.
What was tell me the circumstances by which you got the clip. Did you ask for it?
I was told there was a new interview.
Okay. Who initiated the conversation about the new interview?
I don't know if it was Mr. Brandon.
It was someone associated with the prosecution?
Yes, I wouldn't have known about it.
Exactly. So somebody affirmatively communicated with you when about this clip?
I need to look, but I remember it being about mid-April.
Mid-April.
If I'm thinking.
It's like, isn't the whole point of like an experiment and like testing a hypothesis to work backwards, right? So you're just working with a blank slate and saying, okay, these are the injuries. These are the damages to this vehicle. Is this possible? Does 2 + 2 equal 4, or does it equal fish? Like, what are we doing here?
Thinking of the correct clip.
What were you asked to do, if anything, with regard to that clip?
When I got the clip, I wasn't asked to do anything.
What did you do with the clip once you got it?
So they then indicated there was this suggestion of an alternative route. So then I looked at the alternative route description and added the alternative route.
So it was suggested to you by the prosecution that you look at the clip and they pointed out that there was an alternative route they wanted you to look at?
So I took it to be, we have additional evidence. Please look at the additional evidence and add it to your analysis.
On the topic of additional analysis by Aperture, while this trial is going on, are you aware of Mr. Burgess submitting a report dated May 8th of 2025 in this case?
Yes, I received that report on May 8th.
Right, and so you were aware of the creation of that report on May 8th because you got a copy of it, right?
Correct.
Were you aware that Mr. Burgess was intending to submit that May 8th report to the Commonwealth?
Yes, we had a discussion before that he had found new information that changed the timing.
Oh, he had found new information.
He had found new information, just like you had found or had been given new evidence to amend your presentation as well, too. I see, yeah, because he's just a go-getter, that Shanon Burger. He's such a go-getter.
What is your basis for saying he found new information as opposed to the information always existed, it's just it was pointed out to him that should be looked at? What's the basis of your understanding that he found new information?
I'm going to allow the question, but you have to ask it differently.
I will, Your Honor. Thank you. What is the basis for the statement you made that Mr. Burgess found new information?
I guess it was his meeting and our discussions. He indicated that he had found new information.
Did you ask him, what do you mean by new?
No, I took it at what it said.
So do you, as you sit here today, have any basis to say that that information is new as opposed to it's always been in existence?
Yes,
What is that?
what he told me.
Oh, so you relied upon the representation of Mr. Burgess. You didn't have any independent document to determine whether in fact it was new.
I don't quite frankly care whether it's new or not. I just care what's in the data. Whether it's new, old, I don't care. It's not relevant to what I'm doing. I don't say this is new data, this is old data. I just care what the data is.
Sir, can you...
I mean, I'm glad you don't care. Like, I mean, it's so refreshing to hear that you just don't care. Well, at least you're being honest.
Has Aperture ever submitted a report, a changed report in the middle of a trial for you now?
I have no idea.
Do you know whether Aperture has ever submitted an amended report in the middle of a trial? You said you testified in federal and state courts. Can you recall one instance where Aperture has submitted an amended report in the middle of a trial?
So Aperture is like 290 people. I can.
And you're the head cheese. You're one of like the senior partners, are you not? You have a high stake in this company and you have no idea. I mean, what a way to run a company. This is the reason why the feds didn't hire Aperture and hired a company like Arca. Because you separate the children from the adults. Toddlers and tiaras. This guy's just a douche canoe. Just like his counterpart, special probiotic, Mr. Brandon, who always has to get the last word in, who has to be the smartest person in the room because maybe their dad didn't hug them when they were a child and told them, oh, it's not okay for men to cry. This is only just barely scratching the surface with this guy. We got a whole lot more testimony to go over.
Sir, my question is, as you sit here now, can you state one court case where you or Aperture has submitted an amended report in the middle of a trial?
I cannot speak for Aperture. I can only speak for myself.
Can you answer, speak for yourself, sir. Can you then for yourself recall any instance where you submitted an amended report in the middle of a trial?
Amended reports? No. Amended analysis? Yes.
Thank you.
That's it. In the middle of trial. So let's take a little sneak peek of what's to come in my next video.
So we don't know exactly how he was struck, and pedestrian impacts are extremely sensitive to exact angles. And so where exactly your foot is, whether your foot's off the ground, can have an effect on where you end up after that. We just don't have enough information in this case to determine all that information.
If you enjoyed today's content, oh wait. Before I go, I found this artist because I'm currently in my I need to spice up my background era, right? Build out the home bedroom studio, if you will. And I found this artist, Lynn Marie on X, who does all of these crazy cool animated comics of the Karen retrial. It's such amazing work. And she made this cool cartoon version of me, and this was like the coolest friggin' thing. So I just wanted to shout her out properly. I mean, again, she's selling a graphic novel right now, which I need to buy on Amazon, but like she also does like these amazing illustrations. So this is Dr. Wolf. This is this douche canoe, right? Welcher, Tully. Oh, where is it? Yeah. Bobby Scissorhands, right? So if you want to buy the graphic novel, I mean, definitely, if you're on the Twitter X's, definitely give her a follow. But if you want to purchase The Biased Antics, this is a great title, The Biased Antics of Auntie Bev in the Karen Reed case, you can do so on Amazon. I mean, look at this. Look at Meatball. Got Meatball, we got Bev, we got Karen there, we got Hank, we got everybody. And yeah, she just does a phenomenal job. So if you want to support independent artists, just like independent journalists, right? Independent artists. I'll share the Amazon link in my description box. No pressure, but at the very least, a follow is free. And like I said, she posts amazing stuff. I don't know if she's on Instagram too, but yeah, I just thought that was the coolest freaking thing ever, because nobody's ever drawn me, and I like cartoon version of me looked pretty cool. So shout out to you, Lynn Marie. Thank you so much for that. Really made my day. I had a really difficult day yesterday, but that cheered me up. So with that being said, if you enjoyed today's content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you do not miss the next video from me, and make sure you hit that like button, because that tells the YouTube algorithm that this is newsworthy news, and it is. If you weren't angry, then you should be, right? So thank you so much for watching. And if you were wondering what yesterday's Wordle was, I got you.
Called the occiput boner.